Hello. So welcome to Cisco Live. It's great to be back here in Vegas again. I've been here a few times this year. Today we have some exciting things to show you. You saw some videos earlier in the keynote. We're going to show you some real demos. We're going to talk about how collaboration can help you deliver exceptional experiences. And also for all the unsung heroes in IT who make things happen every single day.
Today, we're going to meet an unsung hero for whom the impossible is an everyday challenge.
My dog died, and his name was my password, so I'm gonna need to change my password.
So let's say someone spills Coke on their laptop. Do they just put some rice on it?
How do I install email? You look busy.
Why do I have to change my password again? My birthday is so secure.
Can you just make it no clicks? One click is too much.
I'm already on the VPN, but I wanna be a VIPN.
How come I can't use Tinder for business communication?
Can I install Minecraft on my laptop?
Can I use it for gaming?
I know it's a company computer, but it was kind of just lying there. Can I mine crypto with this?
Hey, I got an email from this member of the royal family. Can I use MySpace for professional correspondence?
This is her story.
So that was Bobby. If you have any Bobbies in the room over here? I see a few hands. So Bobby is your consummate IT professional, a superhero who makes things happen. She's dedicated, experienced, and definitely a CCIE. And she's always looking for the perfect solution that delivers both business value and a great experience for all of her stakeholders. So today, we're going to follow Bobby's story. We're going to show you how Cisco makes her job easier, and hopefully can do the same for all of you. But first, let's talk about experiences and why in the world of collaboration, experiences are so important. Over the years, there have been a lot of technological advancements that have helped transform the collaboration industry. The emergence of voice over IP, hopefully many of you remember that, meant that every corporate desk was now connected. Mobile meant that we could take collaboration with us wherever we went. More recently, the cloud. It massively increased the pace of innovation across our industry. But a common thread through all of these technological advancements was that it delivered a fundamentally better experience than before, and usually at a much lower cost. So here we are, in the middle of yet another technological advancement, AI. You've heard a little bit about it so far in this conference. I guarantee you, you're going to hear a lot more today. And I don't know if we fully understand to the extent at which AI is going to change collaboration. But ultimately, we believe that it's not just about the latest technology. It's about the experience that that technology delivers, especially in collaboration. Experiences, connections, interactions, these are the things that are the heart of collaboration. So today, in an AI-first world, human interactions are going to matter even more. Things like real-time discussions, brainstorming, sharing of ideas. These are the moments where teams do real work. And for your customers, they want to connect with you in many different ways. And often the difference between a satisfied customer and an unsatisfied customer is your ability to connect with them. So the bar for using AI in customer experience is even higher. It must make a human interaction even better. And that is why we believe that experience matters. So any technology, even AI, should be in the service of that human component of work. It should work quietly and transparently in the background, making things easier, faster, and better, and making Bobby's life easier too. So here at WebEx, our entire collaboration portfolio is designed with that goal in mind: to see and be seen, to hear and be heard, to feel included, and to deliver exceptional experiences. We've been working hard here at WebEx to deliver those experiences as part of collaboration. So today I'm pleased to announce that Cisco AI Assistant is now a part of the WebEx platform. It's available across our portfolio. It's a single AI assistant across our entire portfolio. So you don't have an assistant, one for meetings, one for calling, one for messaging. It's even in Control Hub, a single AI assistant across our entire ecosystem. It's available to you now, and it's made possible because of our platform approach. It's a part of our platform, so it shows up across our entire ecosystem. Now, we've been testing this for a while, and many of you have been a part of the early access program. So, some of you are up here. So what are the early adopters telling us? They're seeing significant benefits with better communication, improved productivity and efficiency, and better brainstorming and collaboration. AI is going to reshape how we work, how we interact, but ultimately it's not just about the technology, it's about the experience. So let's first start by talking about customer experiences. Let's go back to Bobby and see what she thinks about customer experiences.
It's a typical Monday, which means no one has read Bobby's memo about the new...
Thank you so much. We really appreciate you. Okay, have a great day.
Donna Miller.
Our NPS scores are horrible.
That's bad.
Customers are screaming at our agents. Our agents are burning out. I'm answering phones. Me?
You really shouldn't be.
I know. We need a new system. Something with AI, right?
AI is good.
But we need it like last week.
Donna doesn't do memos
Next month?
or meetings
2 months?
or email if she can help it. Otherwise, she would know
How about now?
what Bobby knows.
It's about time.
So one thing Bobby knows is that customers' experiences matter. Now, if every experience isn't exceptional, the reality is customers are going to get frustrated, and if they have multiple bad experiences, they're going to leave you. So having the right capabilities for delivering customer experiences is not just for the agent, but it's also for supervisors and for IT as well. And that is why at WebEx, we have been building the next generation contact center to deliver these exceptional experiences. We've built WebEx Contact Center with not just crystal clear voice and audio support, but we've built it for all of the digital channels that you see up there. It includes tools for proactive communication, so you can reach out to your customers proactively for things like the flight was delayed or you want to fill a prescription. If customers want to solve issues on their own, WebEx Contact Center includes self-service tools. And finally, if somebody needs human support, it includes tools to provide that support as well for human interaction. And earlier this month, we announced that WebEx Contact Center now includes quality management and CRM connectors as part of the contact center for Salesforce, for ServiceNow, and Microsoft Dynamics, all included, so you don't need to buy another expensive add-on. Bottom line, the WebEx Contact Center license is complete. It includes everything you need to deliver a contact center solution. But what about AI? Because the future of customer experience, we believe, is going to be intelligent. And AI is already having a profound impact on customer experiences. The Cisco AI Assistant I mentioned earlier is now included in the WebEx Contact Center, in our self-learning contact center. What is a self-learning contact center? It learns from previous interactions, whether they are virtual, automated, or human, and it gets better over time. It also learns from knowledge base articles, customer histories, and how customers like to interact, and uses that for future interactions. A self-learning contact center also derives insights from the data so that it makes tomorrow's interactions even better. So do you want to take a look? So let me show you the WebEx Contact Center. So over here, what you are looking at is the view that the agent sees of the contact center. So this is the agent view. I'm going to pretend to be an agent. On the left-hand side, you can see customers who are waiting to be connected to, and these are chat conversations. So I'm going to go ahead and accept this request to talk to Joe, who's a customer who's calling in. Now, Joe has already had a virtual interaction with our virtual bot, and clearly that the situation wasn't resolved. So me as a human agent, I first get a summary of that previous interaction on the right-hand side. So on the right-hand side, you're seeing a summary of the virtual interaction. I'm up to speed. Looks like Joe's calling because of a transaction that Joe wants to dispute. Now, what the assistant also does is at the bottom, I didn't type this in, the assistant, based on the history, suggested a response. And in this case, I'm going to go ahead and accept the response suggested by the assistant and confirm if Joe indeed was calling about a fraudulent transaction. As the customer responds, I can again go back to the assistant, and you can see that the assistant in this case looked up information about the customer, was able to find the transaction that the customer is calling about, and in this case is suggesting maybe you want to give the customer a refund. So now the agent is being assisted by the assistant to respond, and in this case I'm going to go ahead and accept that response and send it. Looks like the customer is happy. And I can go ahead and close out this chat conversation. The other thing agents have to do is summarize, and after I end my call, the assistant automatically generates a summary of the conversation, so I don't need to spend all my time typing this up. So the assistant generated that for me, which I can now accept and archive so that it's available for future transactions. So that's the assistant sitting next to the agent, making the agent's job easier. Next, I'm going to switch over, and I'm going to show you the console for the supervisor. So the WebEx Contact Center also includes rich information and a console for supervisors so they can monitor the health of agents and the overall contact center. So this is the view of the supervisor. At the top right, you can see contacts in progress. There's 35 of them, 25 waiting in queue. But the one thing I wanted to show you today was the average CSAT score. One of the problems we've heard from our customers about is that you send out these CSAT surveys, and a subset of customers, only up to 7% is the average, respond to those surveys. So you don't get an accurate view of the true CSAT score. And this is where the assistant comes in handy. What the assistant is able to do in WebEx Contact Center is automatically generate a CSAT score for every interaction. So that's the score that the assistant generated for all interactions, and we can double click into that. So if we go into the details, over here you can see all of the exchanges, voice and chat, based on keywords, based on the sentiment of the words being used by the customer and the agent. We were able to deduce a CSAT score for that interaction and then roll that up. But that's not all. The assistant can help you understand these analytics. And in this case, I'm going to ask the AI assistant using a conversational interface to tell me more about some of the higher and lower performing agents. And it goes back and looks at the history, automatically generates the top 3 performers for the day and the bottom 3 performers. And then I noticed that Nat, who normally does a much better job, has a lower score. So I can drill into that and look at Nat's interactions and again have the assistant summarize that. Looks like Nat had a bad interaction where he got a score of 2. The assistant can summarize that interaction. And more importantly, if I wanted to listen into the conversation so that I can learn from what might have gone wrong, I also have access to the audio recording. So I could double click into that, listen to the exchange, and potentially use that for training Nat, or if it was a good call, to train other agents. So that's the AI assistant inside the supervisor console in WebEx Contact Center. So what I just shared with you is how the assistant helps deliver amazing experiences inside WebEx Contact Center. And it's not just for your customers, but it's also for your agents and for IT. And it's a self-learning contact center, so it gets better over time. So let's switch gears and now take a look at what Bobby is up to next.
It's a typical Tuesday, which means Craig is complicating things.
Can I bend your ear?
What's that?
We need to video enable everything. 372 conference rooms, 43 shared huddle spaces, and 212 shared desk spaces. It's a lot, I know, and super complex.
For mere mortals, maybe.
Maybe there's a simple plug-and-play option? But it needs to be easy to use, like maybe one button to join a meeting, any meeting.
Yeah.
But don't skimp on the tech, like AI and voice command would be cool. And could the camera follow me while I talk? I like to pace a lot.
Obviously, someone didn't attend Bobby's briefing.
So AI like NVIDIA built in and pacing. Okay.
So when can you get started?
What do you think?
Craig is still confused.
So Craig and Bobby, they're not alone trying to build an incredible in-office experience. But, you know, a basic camera and monitor solution is not going to cut it. Like the big box of webcams, that's not enough for today's workforce. Simply because with that, you'll lose a lot of that rich interaction that makes face-to-face connections so magical. We are on a mission to deliver that rich context, that rich conversation. We call it distance zero. So it feels like no matter where you are in the world, how you're connecting in, what type of distance you have, you and our colleagues should be right there. This is the culmination of years of AI. We had the foresight in 2015 to partner with NVIDIA. That foundation has developed the industry's most capable AI platform and machine learning platform that's out there today. Our cameras can intelligently switch between participants for a movie-like experience. Get that close-up, be that real. But instead of just take it from me, let's have the Oslo team demonstrate that to us.
Hi, and welcome to Oslo.
Right now, our camera mode is set to group, but for this setup, we can do better. If we enable frames, you can see all of us a lot more clearly.
Here's why these features are essential for effective communication in hybrid meetings. But first, let's switch back to speaker mode. The core needs, they are simple. You need to see who you're talking to, see reactions, understand the situational context, and also feel like you're part of the discussion.
Particularly in rooms with just one camera, achieving that last point can be challenging. Multiple cameras help, especially when the conversation is happening across the table.
In this room, we have a setup with 3 cameras. With multiple cameras and our AI director, we ensure the best view at any moment. There's no bad seat at this table.
Now let's switch up the layout and have a look at what's next, speaker and group. In scenarios with more people in the room, we can help you keep focus on what is being said by providing one stream dedicated to the active speaker and one stream giving you context of the room through an overview.
With speaker and group activated, you get the best of both worlds, seeing the speaker and the entire room.
It adds a whole new dimension to virtual interactions, enhancing connection and engagement.
Hey Steven, how connected would you be if there was a fire truck outside? Or maybe your children was playing with the world's most annoying llama? How engaged would you feel?
I think in that case, I would turn on noise removal. So regardless of sirens, twerking llamas, or noisy offices, our noise removal is going to give you crystal clear audio in any meeting.
We hope you enjoyed this demo. Thank you so much for watching.
Hey! You know, that's incredible. It solves one of my key problems, and that is twerking llamas. So, in fact, we went out and we surveyed early adopters, and 85% of them said that AI-powered devices help them experience significant reduction in meeting fatigues. 85%, that's significant. And 70% felt that they got a greater sense of inclusion. And that is experiences that are transforming your workspaces as well. Like in your conference room, we have our new device, the EQX. It's an AI turnkey solution that we can just put out there, and it's easy to deploy. For the boardroom, we have the new Campfire that gives everyone the feeling of speaking face-to-face, whether you're in person or you're participating remote. And in your flexible spaces, we have the Board Pro G2, named after our boss. No, it's Generation 2, okay? Includes dramatically enhanced video with the new powerful NVIDIA module that's in there. And in the home offices, we have a full range of the Desk series that ensures your employees have an equal experience where they're also attending from home. At Cisco, We are committed to supporting the best native experience for our customers, regardless of which platform you use. So, with our devices, you have two options, two equal experiences. One is to run native room experiences from Cisco, where you can connect back-to-back meetings on WebEx, on Zoom, on Microsoft, on Google, or we have the option to run Microsoft Teams rooms with also running WebEx native, and we're the only one that can do that. And with both of them, we're helping Bobby, because we have the experience of powerful AI, management through WebEx Control Hub, and not at least Thousand Eyes integration in all of those scenarios. And all of your devices also become sensors. We have integrated Cisco Spaces to get even more value. I'll give you some stats here. We have digitized 9.5 billion square feet of workspace. That is the size of the city of Las Vegas 3 times over. We have 17 trillion location points that we bring into Cisco Spaces. But instead of me talking about it, let me demonstrate that for you. So let's walk over here to the Board Pro G2. Here you can see that Cisco Spaces is running. We've connected live into Atlanta, the 20th floor. There are 14 meeting rooms there. 1 is booked, 13 are available, probably because a lot of the Cisco people are here in Vegas. Out of that, we get all of the information. Meeting rooms, humidity, temperature is great, air quality is perfect. If I happen to be in Atlanta now, I can go in, I can actually look at this, you know, I need a meeting room for my next meeting. I see Edgewood, that's about the right size. I can select that, that's available, and in the time it gets me to get from reception and up to the room, I can actually hold this room and make it mine while I get there. And you see again all of the sensors that we have there, and I have reserved that room and I can go there. This is Cisco Spaces, and not only that, but it's running on Room OS. But I'll show you something. We're also running it on MTR. So here we have MTR first. And what we can do is that we have all of these Cisco secret sources coming into it. And I'll show you something else that's cool. We can swipe in from the right. Here we have access to all of that other technology that we've developed at Cisco. We can control our cameras, we have the AI noise reduction, but we can also integrate with third-party apps. Javed mentioned that we're working with ServiceNow. You could see here, even in this setup with MTR, we have a ServiceNow icon. If I press that, I can actually open a ServiceNow case. So let's do that and do that live. So let's do the room. Is it too warm in here? Hands up. No hands. Is it too cold in here? Quite a lot. OK. Too cold. Submit report. That's how easy it is with the integrations that we have. And as I demonstrated that works when you run Cisco Room OS or you do it from MTR. But let me walk over here and pick up my iPhone. And what you can see now here is basically my iPhone and the Cisco Spaces app. And when I have that, I have access to the entire office. I want to reserve a personal desk. I'm on my way into the office, and I need a desk next to my buddies. So available desks, and I know the desk number 6, that close to the people I like sitting with. I can then press that button, and then let's pretend this is the desk number 6. Look at this new phone. You see there's a green light on there. And as soon as I go into desk number 6 and I book this desk, it goes red. It's mine. So while I'm driving in, I can actually reserve this, and I've reserved this desk. When I get in, what I will do is I'll come in. There's a QR code. Sorry to be in front of you. I'll press that. And the QR code, that allows me to log into this desk, It's hot desking. It will be mine. I can then select the time I'm going to be here, and I've made something that's a shared space, my space, for an hour or 2 or 3, where all of my meetings will pop up, and we have hot desking. So, there is a couple minutes now since we checked into Craig and we checked into Bobby and find out what they're up to. Let's look at that.
It's a Wednesday, and Joe's got big ideas.
Bobby!
Great you're here.
Is it great?
My boss, our boss, has been ranting about AI.
Oh, that old thing.
We need it. Now. We want it in everything. I'm thinking AI chairs. Desk. Plant. AI plant.
You do know what AI is, right? Maybe start small.
Okay, like what?
Like put it in meetings, messaging, calling, contact center, and control hub. You know, important things.
Joe did attend the briefing, but he was busy thinking big thoughts.
You can do that?
It's done. Just click right there.
Whoa. That is gonna save me some time, Bobby. Then we can figure out how to get AI into the coffee.
Into the coffee, Bobby.
Incredible, right? But what Bobby already knows is that experience matters. And the WebEx suite is the most comprehensive suite for tools today. It's arming your employees with the right tools for the job. We started all of this with meetings and calling. Then we added messaging and whiteboarding tools. Now we can support webinars and large events up to 100,000 people. Through Slido and Vidcast, we added audience engagement to support both synchronous and asynchronous interactions. And last year, we did something incredible. We're also supporting a light contact center as part of the suite. And we're not stopping here, because under the hood, we'd added generative AI across our portfolio in the form of the Cisco AI Assistant for WebEx. Most of the industry has focused on large language models, LLMs. They deliver text-enhanced, like automatic transcriptions. That's really what it's about. At Cisco, we're bringing together 3 pillars: language, audio, and video. We bring that together at once. It's an industry-first real-time media model, or RMM. Our AI can capture rich cues like facial expressions, tone of voice, gestures, reactions, inflections, and even your word choice. For example, in the power of the Cisco AI Assistant, we can troubleshoot, we can remove distractions, we can translate, we can create personalized summaries and resolve customer issues. We can create highlights and take notes to get the most out of every meeting and every message. But let me show you how. So what you can see here is I'm on the WebEx app. I'm going to join a meeting. And here we are. So here I'm in the meeting. You can see I'm here. The rest of the meeting is up running. And we're having a good dialogue. But sometimes life happens. You have to take a call, or you have to fetch a package at the door. And as soon as I step away, you will see that this is detected. Be right back icon comes up. I'll go and fetch that package. People have the indication I'm not there. And as soon as I step back in, I can then actually rejoin the meeting and go back into the meeting. And when I do that, I'm prompted, do you want to be caught up on what happened? And yes, I would like that. There's a summary coming up. You see there's a rich summary. And you know what? When you've been out like that, one of the key things to get to know is, Was my name mentioned? Did I get any actions? Did they say something? So I'll go in and look, was my name mentioned? It's then looking through that, and I said, yes, it was actually. They wanted to have me confirm the launch timing. And I can then confirm the launch timing, but I can also actually go in and use text and ask anything and say, you know what, the project I'm working on, Project Alpha, how's that, was that mentioned? Because that's also key to me. It's going in, looking through all of this, and with that, it's saying that it was mentioned, and AI actually provided information back that it's on track. This is incredible, and this is really helping us. And I think that this is one of the key things that we're bringing into this that is helping us. So, with that, that's pretty cool, right? But let's get the perspective from our customer, and who leverage this technology every day to solve their IT challenges. So I would like to welcome on stage Nikki Parsons from Akamai. Give her a big round of applause. Welcome, Nikki. I was tempted to say Bobby, but Nikki, please. Great to have you here, and thank you for taking the time. So, you know, if I ask you about Bobby's experience you've seen here, is this any way similar to your world?
I think if we kind of polled the audience, which I'm not going to do, but a great Slido right now would be awesome. I think every day we're all Bobby. Bobby exists in all of us. When you run any type of service, you sell any type of products, whenever you're interacting, I think all that happens is the longer that you're in your career, the Bobbies change. And so the Bobbies sometimes come with titles that have a C in front of them or a VP in front of them, but we're all still Bobby at our core.
Yeah, well, that's good. But if we bring it closer to home, though, and we think about it, so how's Akamai using WebEx and the collaboration portfolio?
So there isn't anything that we don't use. We use the entire suite. So meetings, calling, contact center, polling, conferencing, everything from soups to nuts. We have close to 1,000 rooms deployed. We had more before the pandemic happened. We have 11,000 people across multiple geographies. And this is what they're using every single day to do their work. It's, in many respects, it is what allows us to be seamless to offer the best service to our customers because we don't have to think about it. It's there. That's what we're using.
But I like that. You said you're using pretty much everything.
Everything.
Everything. We like that. Everything. Yeah, that's very good. Okay. But Javed spoke about the early access program here, and how has that impacted the way your teams are working, and what do they like about it?
Yeah, so we've got a beta going internally right now with the new AI assistant. And the things that I would say that we are like the most excited about, and it's an area where I think WebEx has always excelled, is around post-meeting. I definitely think in terms of when you look at the industry, the post-meeting experience has always been superior. And I think that that has carried on into AI. So there's definitely areas around post-meetings, as well as some of the things that you just demoed, where like, you know, walking away and catching me up was my name mentioned, which, you know, we get distracted sometimes. It's not intentional, but sometimes that can happen. And so that's definitely an area that we're really excited about. Summarization as well, also really, really excited about that. There's just so many features that are embedded in the platform. The one that I think that is actually going to create the greatest amount of benefit, which will be our internal unsung hero, is the real-time transcription, right? When you're inside the meeting itself. The language, right? We have so many meetings where English is English, but it's not necessarily, we're not all talking the same English. but also with multiple different countries represented as well. So that's definitely something that we're like really, really excited about launching.
Yeah, and we're excited as well. And I just like to underline what you said about summarization. I mean, use that a lot. You miss a meeting, but you can just go and read up on the summary, see the actions. Very, very powerful. But you're also working on your real estate strategy at Akamai. And how is the technology you're implementing, like the Cisco Collaboration Devices, how's that informing your real estate decisions?
Yeah, so we've definitely done a lot. So our strategy early on was kind of like, if it had 4 walls and a door, we'd put a video unit in it. And then over time, we've evolved. And I would say, obviously, where we saw the most amount of evolution was during COVID. Prior to COVID, what we had done is we removed the dependency on the room itself, right? We went to like the virtual meeting concept where the room was just invited like any other attendee. And whilst at the time, our rationale for doing that had nothing to do with the pandemic and had nothing to do with hybrid work, which is where we find ourselves today, it actually set us up for success in hybrid work because people are already used to the concept that I just invite the room like I invite another attendee. And what we've been doing, and we've been using Control Hub extensively in this area, is we've been pulling a ton of information about what rooms are used. Like what is the most frequently used room, what has the most foot traffic, what's online the most. Now what we're working on, well, why? Why is that the most used? Is it because it has the best technology in it? Is it the place where I look the prettiest? Or is it because it's just close to the bathroom? So that's what we're working out now.
I need the one where I look the prettiest. I think that's
I
really...
think that's all the time.
Oh, you think that's all the time? I mean, vanity trumps everything, right? So,
I'm actually going to stop you.
Are you going to stop me?
I'm going to stop you because I actually have a question for you, and I hear that you might be the person that can help me with this. So with all the features that you're releasing, there's one feature that's missing that would really help me in my day-to-day life.
Okay.
Can you create a mute button for my eyebrows? Because that gives me away all the time.
That's wonderful. We'll do that. You know, we'll develop that at the same time as I get my George Clooney filter that I've always wanted, right? But you've heard us talk a lot about our experience here today. And you know, at WebEx, we focus so much on the experience. It's experience first in everything you do. How's that changed you and your team and what you're working on?
I'm embarrassed to admit this, but WebEx is the app. You know, for any iPhone users in the room, sorry, I'm in the cult, I apologize. It tells me what app I use the most. And without a shadow of a doubt, WebEx is my #1 app that I use the most. As soon as I open my eyes in the morning before I've even gone to the bathroom, brushed my teeth, it's the first thing that I check. The first thing that I open to see, well, what happened overnight? Is there something that I need to catch up on? I hate to admit that, but it's true. It has become, it's at the cornerstone of how I communicate with my customers, how I communicate with my team, but penultimately how they also communicate with me, right? Like email is no longer as prevalent for me when it comes to work. I check that probably once a day at the end of the day.
But we are able to outshine TikTok and Snapchat and be #1. I like that. We need more like you. That's a big hand. You know, I think that's a great place to end it, Nikki. We're so grateful for your time here and your partnership and all the things that you're doing for us. So thank you very much. And thank you very much.
Thank you.
Big hand for Nikki. So Nikki, she spoke a lot about what Control Hub can do for her. So what I would like to do is also to look at Bobby and see what approach she has to managing her environment. Take a look.
It's an unusual Thursday. Bobby's having a quiet lunch.
Bobby, with everything you've rolled out,
Yeah?
how are we going to manage it all?
No one knows what Janie does,
We? What is it you do here again?
but she's very passionate about it.
Yeah, I mean, the contact center is great, but it must be complex. Are you afraid to fail, Bobby?
You just connected 627 new spaces in the office. I mean, that has got to be a load on the system. And I do not have the boots on the ground to help you.
And you're right. AI saved me a ton of time. But where you were wrong, Bob, AI coffee.
It's like this crazy balancing act.
Not to mention all the people working from home.
Control Hub.
Okay, it is a typical Thursday.
So that was Nikki and Bobby's secret weapon to manage it all, WebEx Control Hub. Because we believe that experiences matter even for IT. And we've made it extremely easy for IT to deploy the experiences that you just saw today at scale. So what is Control Hub? For those of you who don't know, it is a single management plane for all things WebEx. For the WebEx suite, for your devices, for your users, and now also for your contact center. And the power of Control Hub comes from our platform architecture. It brings together data in real time across users, devices, workspaces, the network, and also from third-party peripherals. So WebEx Control Hub gives you a centralized view of your entire ecosystem for things like administration, troubleshooting, reporting, and much, much more, all in one place. And we've integrated the WebEx Assistant into Control Hub. So now you can have a conversational interface on top of all of the data so that you can get answers to your questions much, much faster. Now, you saw some of this in the keynote today. Jeetu talked about this. In response to a quality concern, you're now able to use a conversational interface with the AI assistant and ask about, in this case, Donna Miller's issues. And because Control Hub includes data not just from WebEx devices and users, but also from things like Thousand Eyes, it was able to come back with an answer and pinpoint the specific location, in this case the ISP, where the problem was. And now you can take action on that, get the problem resolved. But you also heard from Bobby and Nikki, one of the problems is managing all of this at scale. And that is where we believe Control Hub really, really shines. Now, we had one customer who, before the pandemic, had 5 conference rooms, and now they're deploying our devices. In fact, they wanted to deploy up to 600 devices. They were up to 430 when I checked last, and they did that with a team of 2. That's because of the scale that Control Hub allows you to manage these devices at. You want to take a look? So let me show you how you can do that. So I'm going to switch over to Control Hub. So this is Control Hub over here. And this is the view where it's showing me all of the workspaces for this particular organization. You can see there's 1,238 workspaces, all accessible from within Control Hub. I can look at the peripherals there, the physical location, the type of space, capacity, and even things like software in there. But what you're typically interested in is the ones that might need attention. So this is where the WebEx Assistant comes in. You're going to switch to the Insights tab over here, and it shows you the list of workspaces that might need your immediate attention. And it's doing that by looking at things like what might be wrong, the severity of the problem, how often that conference room is being used, because those take higher priority. So the one at the top over here, which is a device, the boardroom here, seems to have a microphone issue. And you can see there's a lot of meetings coming up. So you better want to look at this immediately and see if you can get this fixed. We're going to click into that. So let's see what we have here. It's showing me the peripherals. So in this case, it's a Samsung TV. It knows that. There's a room navigator. I can look at even things like the climate, if it's an important meeting, temperature and acoustics are super important. And you can see that the microphone is really the problem. You can also look at location. But today, this week, we are announcing a new feature where you will now have remote access to these devices. So you can go down now, and I can get remote access to that particular device. It's almost like being there in that space without sending somebody out there. Now, I'm going to go ahead and connect. You're noticing this little bit of a delay here, and that's by design, because what we don't want is accidentally connect in there if somebody was in the room, so they have the option to cancel. And now I'm connected to that device in Norway. And I can do everything I would have been able to do if I was in the room. So I can look at settings. Maybe somebody messed around with the settings, so I could look at the audio settings, the microphone settings. In this case, I'm going to look at the camera settings. And in the camera settings, we have the self-view functionality. So by using the self-view functionality, I can turn that on, and I can get a real-time feed of the room itself. And I think I know why the microphone's not working in this room. Looks like that's coffee on the table spilled on the microphone and some cables disconnected. So now I know what the problem is. I can send somebody down there and get that addressed. So that is WebEx Control Hub with new remote access functionality built in for your devices. And what do our early access customers like Bobby think about this? Or I should say, Nikki, think about it. Our early data shows that Control Hub saves administrators up to 8 hours per week because of the remote access functionality. And that is a lot of time. That's almost like half a day's of work for me. So we've shown you some amazing experiences, and we've got a lot more going on. Especially later this year, we're going to be hosting the collaboration event of the year, WebEx One. It's in Miami this October, so we'd love to have you all there. By the way, one person who is going to be there, for sure, he's here. So I'm going to invite Jeetu Patel, Executive Vice President of Security and Collaboration, on stage to talk to us a little bit more about collaboration. Jeetu?
All right.
Thanks for joining us. I know you're coming from the security breakout. I'm assuming this one is way better than the other one.
I have 2 kids that I love equally.
Oops. Looks like I dropped mine. OK. So Jeetu, we've spent a fair amount of time here talking about some of the challenges that Bobby has, and specifically about AI. Why do you think that AI is having such a profound impact on the industry as a whole, and specifically collaboration?
Look, I think we are in a really interesting juncture in IT right now. Firstly, I want to just take a step back and give this team a lot of accolades, because 3.5, 4 years ago, the product did not look like this. And it was tireless hours from this leadership team who showed leadership to the teams. And I think what this product is, it's not even disputable at this point in time. This is categorically the best product in the market, right? And it's, I'm so proud of the team, and I'm so proud of the work that we've done, and that the team has done to bring us here. We are now in the next big, kind of market transition that's happening, which is, and every single time there's a market transition, we have to stay a little bit paranoid, because all the assumptions you might have had in the previous market transition don't always apply in the new market transition. And AI is probably one of the most profound shifts that we will have experienced in our lifetimes. And what I see happening with collaboration and AI is the kind of friction that we've all faced. Like, even though we've had a lot of technology, I feel like when I was in my 20s, I'm old now, when I was in my 20s 30 years ago, none of these technologies were there. And now I have all of these technologies, but I don't feel like I'm any less busier. I feel like I get more, there's more that you can do, but there's still a tremendous amount of stress that you actually encounter. And what we would like to do is, I think IT as a whole is, like I mentioned this morning, is a very difficult job. It's actually one of those jobs where no one calls the IT team and says, hey, thank you, everything worked great today. Right? Like, that doesn't happen. The only time you get a call is when something's gone sideways. And chances are the thing that went sideways was not your fault. It was the vendor and what happened with them, or the implementation, or the user, or something of that sort. But you're the one who's actually being called upon to go out and fix it at a very inconvenient time. So I think we have a mission to make sure that not only do we make it simple for users, where we can build products that they love, that they can talk to their friends and family about, because we want to take these products to hundreds of millions, billions of users. And you can't do that by buying billboards on 101 in San Francisco. You actually do that by building products that people love, that they actually talk to their friends and family about. That viral movement is the only way, with word of mouth, that news spreads. That requires that you build great products that delight users. But you also have to build great products that build IT experiences in a much, much better way. And I think, as you've seen over here, the telemetry and the data that we now have across multiple of these kind of different domains between networking and security and observability and collaboration, tying that all together in a simple natural language interface and doing remote management of very large estates where you might actually have Cisco gear, all with one cohesive interface, I'm hoping gives IT the same level of delight that it provides to users. And one of the most gratifying things I find is when all of you come up to me or to Javed or anyone and say, hey, look, this is, we love your product and we love using it and this is what it's done for us. What Nikki said earlier, I mean, those are the kind of things that make us want to work even harder for you. So I'm hoping that we actually build products that you really love and we make you proud because of the kind of innovation that we can do with AI that was in the past not even possible. And hopefully what you can do is really start imagining things from an experience that was not even plausible in the past. Because one of the things I found is the mission on WebEx is so powerful because we want to make sure that human potential, which is equally available all over the world, has the equal access to opportunity. Because someone in a village in Bangladesh simply does not have the same access to opportunity as someone in the heart of Silicon Valley. And I think WebEx changes that because it provides a leveling playing field for the entire world, not just for our technology, but if you're using Microsoft Teams or you're using Zoom or you're using Google, we'll actually do that with them as well because I don't think this is a zero-sum game. In order for us to win, it means the customer wins. And for the customer to win, someone else doesn't have to lose. We can actually bring them up along with us as well.
Yeah, Jiddu, I love that part about the impact we can have on people's lives. And I know for many on my team, that's what keeps us coming back, wanting us to deliver better and better experiences. But let's talk about contact center. In fact, I think Chuck was on CNBC yesterday, and he mentioned contact center. So we all believe that, and I know you have some thoughts about this. AI is going to have a significant impact on contact center also. So share some thoughts around that, and where do you see the market going?
I'll ask a question over here. Maybe you folks know. This is anecdotal. I don't have real data on this one, but I think it's true. What's one of the largest use cases in AI right now that's being used? Anyone? It's actually coding, right? And so if you start thinking about the amount of code that's getting auto-generated by generative AI tools, it's very large. In fact, Scale.ai, which we announced a partnership yesterday, one of the reasons we announced the partnership is they're the largest code-generating company in the world. They have written more code than Stack Overflow. What have they done in writing the code? They basically write code to train the machine learning models for OpenAI and every other LLM that's out there, right? So what they'll do is they'll say, okay, I want to build a shopping cart app. They will go write a piece of code to have a shopping cart app built, and they'll have prompt response pairs that actually train the model over and over again. And they'll probably have 1,000 versions of a shopping cart app that actually gets trained on the model, that the model gets trained on. What's the second most prominent use case that automates workflows in the world, you think? It's actually customer service. And like I mentioned in the keynote this morning, we spend an enormous amount of time right now staying on hold, being inefficient, getting transferred, getting frustrated, being asked to repeat ourselves again because the person that came on didn't know what the previous person actually left off at. And these are moments of opportunity we had to increase brand loyalty with that customer that every company just blows it on. And then you have to make sure that you work doubly hard to go out and get those folks back again in the loop. The biggest opportunity you have is when the customer has a problem, make that experience delightful, because then they'll never forget it. And it's the customer might forget what you said to them, but they will never forget how you made them feel. And I think we try to do this at Cisco. Sometimes we do well, sometimes we don't. Sometimes we make bozo moves, and that happens from time to time. But we want to make sure that we help every single one of our customers to create that engaging experience with their customers, and I just don't think there's enough capacity with humans to go out and have it be affordable for there being no hold time. You know, like I said earlier, there's 4 weeks of our lives that we spend on hold, every single human on the planet. That seems like a giant use of kind of waste of time. And so I believe that the first line support calls eventually should be taken and 90 to 95% of them solved with a virtual agent. But that virtual agent can't sound like a robot. You know, it can't sound like someone that you want to punch in the face if it was a real human, because they don't understand you and you have to repeat yourself 3 times, and even if you say things slightly differently, it still doesn't get you. You have to make it sound completely like a human. You have to be able to interrupt it. You have to be able to redirect it. You have to be able to throw it a curveball. You have to make sure that you have very different kinds of engagement models with that agent, and they should be able to automate workflows for you. And then the ones that require human judgment then get graduated to a human. And I think that's the vision. You know, and that's something that wouldn't have been possible without AI, but we are right now squarely in the mode where we can make that happen, and that can become a reality, not within a decade, not within half a decade, but within, Anurag, a very, very short amount of time. Right, Anurag?
Yeah.
Anurag's our head of engineering.
I think challenge accepted,
Challenge
Jitu, yes.
That's what I think is probably the most exciting thing about contact center, is it's a completely different asymmetric way of looking at things and solving problems that we as humans haven't been able to solve for, I don't know, 30, 40, 50 years.
Yeah, I think there's been some amazing developments with AI, and I can't wait to show some of this but you'll have to wait till WebEx1.
That's right. And by the way, can I just say one last thing on this? The reason it's getting very exciting, yes, there's a large language model that can actually, you know, you can go back and forth with and type and it'll give you back a response. But the text-to-speech accuracy has gotten really good. And the speech itself sounding more human-like, with low latency, with high interrupt rates, that can actually allow it to feel more like how a human sounds when they talk, is really, really good. And that's actually what the massive breakthroughs of innovation have been, that we need to make sure we take advantage of and unlock those use cases so that each one of our customers has a delightful experience. And by the way, you could still have a human in the loop, but let's make sure that we actually don't have anyone waiting for a long time, because the base level use cases that you're making an IVR solve, or saying go to the website, you can actually solve through a voice agent, and people would love that. Now, the one other thing we have to keep in mind, we can't over-automate. Because if we over-automate, what happens is things like what some car manufacturers have gone through. I can't speak to a human and I get really frustrated, you know? And so I think we have to make sure that we automate just the right amount and then make sure that the human's there. But that transition also has to be seamless, so that when you move to a human, there's not a level of friction by the person who's actually making the call.
So, I'm being told that there's one more Bobby video I need to get to.
All right.
But one final question. Any kind of quick predictions, 1, 2, 3, 5 years out with AI?
Okay, all right, let's go.
Quick. No, I'm asking you. Any predictions that you might see with experiences and AI in general in the future?
Oh my goodness. So I think anyone who tells you 10 years out has no idea what they're talking about, because I don't think we know, because it's impossible to predict out right now, because the pace of scientific progress is compressing at probably 1000x. And so I just don't think you can predict out 10 years. It's foolish to do that. I will tell you that in this whole notion of AGI, or artificial general intelligence, where AI could actually mimic human intelligence in certain domains, is probably closer than we think in some ways and farther than we think in some ways. But here's what I would leave you with. In the short term, we grossly overestimate the impact of these technologies. Your life and my life hasn't changed that dramatically since November 30th of 22, when ChatGPT was launched. Yeah, it's a little bit more productive, hasn't changed dramatically. I will tell you, in 10 years, it'll be entirely different. So we grossly underestimate the long-term effect, and we grossly underestimate the short-term. We overestimate the short-term effect. So that's what I'd say. I'd say there's only going to be 2 kinds of companies moving forward: AI-forward companies and irrelevant companies. And so if the companies aren't AI-based and thinking about AI, then they're not going to be that relevant. But I think we have to keep in mind that responsible AI is a core part of the fabric of how we at Cisco want to work with you. Is you cannot have AI work outside of the bounds of making humans more successful. And I think there's a risk, and there's regulation that needs to be put in place, and there's going to be things that we have to do as a society because we haven't figured it all out, where if you don't do those things in an effective way, I think there could be a lot of unintended consequences and damages, and we want to make sure we don't just look at the upside, we also look at the downside of technology. So with that, thank you again for taking the time. Congratulations to the team, and thank you all of you.
Thank you so much, Jeetu. So it's a great conversation. Thank you, Jeetu, for joining us. I know you're busy. I've really enjoyed the opportunity here to talk to you about why we believe experiences matter and how our product can help you deliver those experiences, ensuring that you can see and be seen, can hear and be heard, and feel included in every environment. Now, we've been focused on delivering these rich, engaging experiences for a while, for decades. That is what we do. And now with AI, we're making that even better. Better with an end-to-end contact center solution for all enterprises. Better by creating a feeling of distance zero with purpose-built collaboration devices. And better with our integrated software and hardware approach so that you can deliver modern, engaging experiences. And better now with an AI assistant that works for you, quietly in the background so that you can connect, co-create, and collaborate. And this is all made possible because of our platform approach, because the WebEx platform, because every innovation, including AI, is now available across our entire ecosystem. So if you haven't already, I encourage you to visit the booth and see for yourself why Cisco Collaboration matters. And before I leave you, we should take one more look at what Bobby's up to. Thank you.
Can we remove the word moist from all the documents, like company-wide?
Hey, remember how I requested that new laptop? You had it sent to my house, but I got evicted. I live in my car. Could you get it back and have it sent here?
If someone was watching movies on their company computer, would you know?
Rice couldn't hurt is my point. Rice couldn't hurt, right?
So I know we just reset my password, but...
I wrote something important on a Post-it the other day, but I can't find it. Do you think it's in the cloud?
Can I put moist into the company mission statement?
If you know an unsung IT hero, give them a high five, pat on the back, and maybe some space.
Got a little drunk last night at the bar, gave my password to some dudes.
Let's say your dog might have left a little surprise on your laptop. What would you do about that?
I wrote my password on a very secure Post-it, but I can't find it.
Hey, I was just tying my shoe. Now I gotta do the right one.